what's up, guys? This is Teacher Gary. This is the Teacher Gary podcast. We don't have a name for it yet, so we're open to ideas. Anyways, I'm Teacher Gary. This is my co-host and producer, Pippa from Hainan, China. So, what are we going to talk about today?
So, what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. You're the producer. This is your fucking job. You're the producer for your first episode. This is your first task.
So, how about we start with how do we meet each other?
Yeah, so we met each other on this app, Hello Talk.
Yeah. So, what you were doing there?
I don't know. I was like trying to learn Thai at the time because I live in Thailand, and you know sometimes like I meet people at my gym, right? I have a very social gym. I do CrossFit. It's like a lot of different exercises, and these classes are really fun and interactive, and you make a lot of friends. I don't like to learn from them. Because I don't want to like make a fool out of myself. I prefer going online and meeting partners, people who are there to actually study a language. So like we can actually help each other back and forth.
But why are you afraid of making a mistake though? Aren't you close enough to them?
Actually, I am, but I just feel like the practice is more focused. And they're not gonna, like I don't expect them to correct me. Like I'm gonna practice with them, but the practice quality with my teacher or my language partner is gonna be a lot more focused than like practicing with my friends. Because I don't expect them to give all their attention to me and correct me. And they're not professional teachers, right?
Yeah, plus, and people probably wouldn't want to talk more in the gym.
The point is that I don't want to bother my friends with letting them help me improve my Thai. I'd rather pay a professional. Like, I get teachers to teach me that. They're more experienced, they're better at this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my friend's time, who's probably not a good teacher anyways. They don't have any teaching experience.
Yeah, they probably don't have the patience for you to finish your sentence.
Exactly, and they're at the gym, right? They're at the gym to work out. Why the fuck am I gonna put this burden on you? Just like if I'm eating food and you come to practice your English with me, it's a little bit weird, right? So a lot of like people who look foreign in Asia, they might have these experiences. Yeah.
But did you find any good language partner there?
Yeah, so I improved my. You and I get on these super tangents where we get off track. Okay, so the original question is how did we meet, right? So I found some Thai language learners, but at the moment I'm not learning Thai anymore. But the point is, sometimes I go to the Chinese room too because I want to improve my Chinese. Like my Chinese is pretty good, but it's not like business level Chinese, right? Because I'm servicing people who speak Chinese, I should speak better Chinese. So I started getting into, this seems like a long advertisement for Hello Talk.
Yeah.
But I've done an advertisement for Hello Talk, so I don't mind promoting them. They've paid up. Love you, Hello Talk. Yeah, so I started meeting Chinese people too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we met, like a Chinese/English room, right?
Yeah.
Or just an English room. And like, it's really easy to meet friends online because you can really quickly find people that you connect with because it's easy to jump in and out of the rooms.
It's about the Chinese English learner. Like, do you notice that they have like certain challenges in common that you want to address on this podcast?
They can't use the right vocabulary. They have trouble putting together sentences, right? Forming sentences, 造句. Or they're just too shy to speak up. Or they just have very low social awareness, where they keep talking on and on, even though everybody doesn't want to hear from them.
Yeah, read the room.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they memorize a script.
Yeah.
And then they want to read it to everybody and want feedback. Where we're in an English room, and we're just trying to have a chat, and you have this guy who's like too serious, and we don't want to learn. We don't want to hear from you. We don't want your opinion on politics.
Yeah, I've been noticing about that too. It's not necessarily following a linear approach, like following the guideline of a textbook. I feel like everybody has.
It's not.
Yeah.
I agree. So you went through too much of a linear approach. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So you needed to find ways outside of the normal way.
Yeah.
What are the non-traditional ways that you improve your English, for example?
I started with trolling people.
So the traditional way is not going to
Yeah.
teach you how to troll people because that's considered untasteful, right?
Yeah.
Distasteful. Untasteful or distasteful? It's probably distasteful. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like they've been teaching polite English in class too much.
Of course, because you can't teach that to everybody. You'll look bad.
But you've been teaching vulgar English though.
Yeah, great. I feel like I'm fulfilling a need in the market.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, and I can take the responsibility for it if people complain. I'll say, go fuck yourselves if you don't like my content. So what are some, well, how did you troll? You learned this on like some language learning app with people? Okay.
Yeah. So I have a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this guy, he came into the voice room and I forgot what the exact conversation was, but basically they were asking about opinions like who are more loyal, man or woman. And then the guy just used Chris Brown's lyrics. This hoes and loyal.
That's funny.
Then he just going on about like saying how unloyal women.
Someone got hurt.
Yeah. But he also like saying he's some kind of like player somehow.
He's a player.
He claimed to be. Okay, I feel like I'm trolling him again.
Good. Okay. So how do you think these types of conversations? So you question him about this. So what's one thing you might have said to him?
I didn't like trolling him on spot, but he come to the voice.
So you troll people behind their backs?
No, I
You wait for them to leave, like, fucking loser.
No,
You're
like,
probably a virgin.
No, I didn't like when he said this Chris Brown's lyrics. I didn't troll him that hard, but I remember him. So he went into the voice room regularly. So the next time when he's saying things that he's a player or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I feel like it's a bit of hypocrite because he's saying like woman is the like unloyal one, but he's claiming that himself is a player. So I just use these lyrics to show him.
I think both things can be true. They're just opposite ends, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he's claiming to be a player, right? Which means he has casual affairs with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But they're at the same time these girls are unloyal to him. I think both things can be true at the same time. But the point is, these types of interactions helped you to build up your English and made you feel like it's fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's not really about the vocabulary or the sentence, like which exact vocabulary or sentence you've been learning. It's more about how you use it and what kinds of tone and your information, but like emotions you're like convey through that kind of message. So I feel like my logical brain and my emotional brain just connected, like using English to joke around.
That's cool. Yeah.
Social skills though, like, what you've been noticing that the students have been lacking compared to
social skills? Well, it's hard communicating in another language. You're not nearly as fluent. And you're so fixated on the words, right? That you put all your mental bandwidth on the words itself. That like you're overcompensating for the words, and then like you're forgetting things about You also have to consider the culture, right? So other people, they might have different cultures. They might be used to more eye contact. They might used to be shaking hands, even giving hugs, right? In China or even other East Asian countries, it's not common to give hugs to people. Oh, lights are good. The kid found the light. I couldn't even find the light. But I would say like there's cultural barriers, and when you're learning a language, you might not be exposed to the cultures of the English-speaking countries, right? And there's various cultures across the English-speaking world. So a lot of things like vocabulary, sense of formation, not having an English-speaking environment is huge, right? Because most East Asians are used to just taking tests instead of like actively speaking. The teachers might not even speak well. East Asians have a lot of, they want 面子, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to make mistakes.
Yeah, the fear of making mistakes.
Yeah. I want to touch upon one thing about trolling, because you really like to troll and you use that as a way of learning. I think finding a way to have fun while using English is really exciting. So I had to learn English too, right? Even though I would consider English my native language, right? Because when I was 3 years old, I didn't have a fluent language yet. So I would say my first fluent language was English. So how did I build up my vocabulary? Growing up, I watched a lot of sports, and I was really into sports. So I'd watch hockey, as Canadians play hockey, and what were the type of words that I was absorbing into my brain, I was listening to? Like the announcers, the commentators from hockey, from baseball, from basketball, even from football, I would listen to the words that they say, and I would use those words with my friends. Right?
So you're gonna start from what you're passionate about.
And yeah, so like I like that word. Like the announcers said the word, oh, that's a sensational goal. So I started using sensational because I like the way that sensational sounds.
Yeah.
And I like having sensational sex. So
So yeah, there's a like a level of excitement.
yeah, so that motivates you.
Yeah. Whereas the textbook English just like really flat and formal.
Yeah. Well, what you listen to, what words you choose are the building blocks to how you communicate, actually, I would say.
What do you mean?
Like the words that you listen to become the tools that you use. You want to empower students to talk about things that they're interested in. Because
so that's why they need to find what they're interested in.
you like trolling people, I like trolling people. I like making fun of people. That's why when I learn a language, I'm going to learn the swear words first. Like in Thai, I love learning get which means fuck a crocodile. It just means fuck right there, right? So I thought that was really funny, so I wanted to learn all the Thai swear words. Now, if you're my student of mine, I want to know what are your needs, what are your requirements, what is your ideal English-speaking situation, basically. Like, why do you want us to learn English? Is it for work? Are you trying to date a foreigner? Are you trying to get a green card?
So while you're teaching them, you're also helping them to discover more about themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
So like, what problem are you trying to solve? What is your pain point? Is your pain point that you're trying to get a high IELTS score? Or are you trying to get customers are you trying to talk to suppliers that speak English? Right? So if you're trying to get English speaking customers and you work in a YMO in foreign trade, then you gotta be good at some sort of business English. You gotta be able to talk sales. You gotta be able to talk about sales volume, for example.
Yeah.
And what type of situations are you gonna be using this vocabulary? So we need a baseline level of English vocabulary for like regular business transactions, right? And then you gotta be able to speak the language required for that industry too. So if you're selling like beauty products, for example, you gotta know the beauty products terms, right? So we gotta build that baseline level first because that's your goal, and everything needs to line up. Your vision, your pain points, and the study plan. But to like make friends, it's a very different study plan, right? So I might like, how do you make friends? One of the best ways I like to make friends is by telling jokes, by making fun of people, by being nice. So you might want to have like super basic social skills, like, hey, I'm Gary, nice to meet you, where are you from, right? I guess they teach this in school a little bit, but like, it's not as concentrated and packaged well enough. So like, if someone wants to learn English from me to make friends, I would give them like, these are the top 100 ways, 100 sentences to say when making friends. Like, where are you from?
But I saw it in your video that you are cheering for students when they're using advanced words.
Yeah, I don't actually advise that people just use advanced English words when they're not ready. Like your English you need to understand what you're saying, basically. Now, you can fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
You can use words that you're not ready, but people can feel that, like you're trying too hard. Or if you're using it wrong, just know that people aren't going to, they're going to feel some way about that.
Yeah.
So like, you can use it wrong and then you can get feedback, right? But sometimes they won't give you feedback. You gotta watch for feedback. People are like, what?
Yeah, like awkward silence is still feedback.
It is true. So you and I are different learners, right? So if I'm learning a Chinese vocabulary and I think I don't fully understand it, I might just use it anyways. And then if there's awkwardness or I realize that I'm not using it right, I'll get feedback. And I might feel a little bit sad about using it wrong, like, fuck, why did I say that? But it's okay, right? Whereas you're more like being prepared before you use something, before doing something.
Are you going to trolling me about my over-preparing?
So we are both stand-up comedians, I guess. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 3 months now, and I've been going on stage like usually 2 times a week now. She was the one who pushed me up on the stage, right? And I've kind of done the same thing to her, right? Because I feel like she's always making excuses about going up on stage because I live in Thailand, she lives in Chengdu, right? So we don't see each other often, so it's an honor to see her go up on stage. She started my comedy thing, and I feel like very comfortable in comedy, even though I'm not amazing yet, but I feel good at the 3-month mark.
What do you mean by 3 months mark?
Like, this is, like, after 3 months, I'm satisfied with my progress.
So how long have you been doing comedy?
3 months. Although I did perform like 8 years ago, but I felt like it didn't really.
That was a speech?
Huh?
Like,
I didn't understand comedy structure, right? And now I still not super understanding of comedy structure, but I have some of it. Like, I'm more analytical about it. I take it a little bit more seriously, whereas before it's just like, haha, I think this is funny. But like, I have a different process, and I'm a much better writer because I've been making videos for a long time. Yeah, you're looking at the time. Yeah.
I'm
okay.
tired.
I know. This is very draining for her. She's INFP, FJ. Yeah. This is just me being normal. I'm ENTP. Anything to say about MBTI?
Yeah. ENFP, right?
Yeah.
They're not monogamous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
No.
shit! I met an ENFP the other day on a date.
They cannot focus on one thing. They
She's
have really short attention span and they have so much love to spread everywhere.
alright. That's the show, guys.